If you have a restraining order hearing coming up via Zoom, this video is for you because I'm going to be giving you my best tips on how to make sure that you present yourself and your case in the best possible light. My name is Veronica. I'm a domestic violence defense attorney here in California, and I help people put their cases behind them so that they can enjoy their lives and their freedom. I'm also the creator of a course called Defeat the DVRO, in which I teach you everything that you need to know to have your best possible chance at winning your restraining order hearing. And by the way, if you are interested in that, you can get your free first class via the link in the description box down below. You can also just go to defeatthedvro.com and get your free first class there. Okay, so let's jump right in. How to prepare for a restraining order hearing when it is over Zoom. And this applies to WebEx, Court, any of the online court service providers. Number one, avoid Zoom if possible. If Zoom is an option, but you can also attend in person, I highly encourage you to attend in person. I've been in many courtrooms in person where some people are there over video, and it's so easy for the people on video to look stupid in some way. Their audio's not working, their video's not working. They don't realize that we can still see them on video, or they forget, and we see them looking bored or slouching over in their seat while we are all sitting there and the judge is in a robe and it's a formal proceeding. So I would avoid it if at all possible. But sometimes you can't. Some courtrooms are Zoom only for restraining order hearings. Number two, find out how to present evidence ahead of time. This is so important. How are you, if you have your documents here on your computer or in your hand, how are you going to show those to the court? What if you have video? What if you have audio that you want to show the court? What is your plan for that? You need to contact the courtroom and make sure that you know how to present your evidence ahead of time. And if you need to send it in advance, and that is really common, then make sure that it's in the order that you want to present it in. Make sure that the file names say either petitioner if you're the person who filed for the restraining order, or respondent if you're the one responding to it and fighting against it. Make sure that they say either petitioner or respondent, and then Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3, all in the order in which you are planning to present them. So you're going to have to think about that ahead of time, which you should do whether it's in person or if it's going to be via Zoom. Now, when you've labeled the files, you're going to have to make sure that you know what the judge is looking at and that you have it in front of you. Make sure you have your own digital copy ready. Don't just send it to the court ahead of time and then expect the judge to show the exhibits on the screen. You want to make sure that you have your own copies ready, that they're prepared. Maybe the judge is looking at the copy on their computer, but they're not showing you. And if they're asking you about Exhibit 1 and you don't know what that is, then that's going to be a problem that will mess you up. And I would also even create an exhibit list where you write, Exhibit 1, and then you write next to it what that is so that you can easily see what everything is, so that you can stay very organized. Organization is so key for these restraining order hearings. If you have a document that you want to show the judge, but you can't find it, what good is that? You need to make sure that you are as organized as possible, that you are ready to present everything. Number 3, get a good background and have good lighting. Bonus points if you have a neon sign. But seriously, make sure that you have a bright light behind your screen and that you don't have any bright light behind you. If you have a bright light behind you, and maybe everybody already knows this from doing Zoom during the pandemic, but if you have a bright light behind you, then it can be very difficult to see you, to see your face. This sort of washes everything out on the screen. And if you want your face to be nice and bright and illuminated, then you can put a bright light just behind your computer screen. I have used a lamp for this before. You can buy a cheap ring light on Amazon if you so desire. You can even just sit in front of a window that you know gets a lot of daylight at that time and have the window in front of you. So you have your computer in front of you and the window is behind your computer. That way you will have good lighting, you'll look good. You don't want the area that you're in to look really dark. And you don't want it to be a bedroom. You don't want it to be a messy space. You want it to just be nice and clean. If it's a blank wall, that's fine. But just don't have it be anything objectionable. I've been talking about a laptop. Maybe you're thinking, Veronica, I don't have a laptop. I really recommend borrowing one from someone then for this. How are you going to present evidence when you have only a phone screen? I mean, it could be okay if you were just a witness to present testimony, but to present documents, that could be really hard. So think about doing that if that's a possibility. If you do need to use your phone, if that's really your only option, then make sure that you either have a phone stand, or if that's not a possibility for you, then I would try to set up a way and practice ahead of time. How are you going to prop your phone up in a way that the court will be able to see you? You should not plan to hold your phone in your hand during the restraining order hearing. It's too long to be holding your phone. It's going to be shaking around. Number 5, test your equipment ahead of time, especially your audio and video. Make sure if you have headphones that need to be charged, they are charged. Number 6, and this may be obvious, but make sure that you wear a nice shirt. Present yourself professionally. I'm saying this is obvious, but I've seen these Zoom hearings where I see somebody who looks like they just rolled out of bed. Their hair is all messy. Comb your hair, look presentable. Treat this as though you were in court, for real. I can tell you that the judges who have to get ready, they have to drive to the courthouse, they have to go into the courthouse, they have to not just wear their professional clothes, but wear their robe. They don't really appreciate it when people are half asleep and do not appear professional. Number 7, make sure that you have an environment that will be quiet. It can be very awkward if there are dogs barking, if there are kids running around, if you have another person who's trying to talk to you and interrupt you during this hearing. It can really be problematic. So make sure as much as you can in advance that everything will be quiet and that everybody around you knows that you're going to be on this call and you're not going to be available to be interrupted during it. Number 8, while you're waiting, make sure that you shut off the microphone, mute yourself. And then in addition to that, most people are good with that, mostly. But make sure that you either shut off your camera or be very cognizant of the fact that you are on camera and that maybe on your screen you're really small, but some of the courts have really big screens where your face will be projected. Sometimes it seems like nobody's paying attention, but you can't see all around the courtroom. So if you are not able to turn off your camera, if the court wants you to keep it on for some reason, or if it looks like everybody else is keeping it on, and so you're keeping yours on as well, be really aware of your facial expressions, your posture, as though you were sitting there in court. I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have a restraining order hearing coming up and you haven't already, I highly encourage you to take the free class in the course that I teach, Defeat the DVRO. You can find a link to the class in the description box below. You can also go to defeatthedvro.com and you will find your first free class there. Basically, you can keep browsing YouTube hoping to find the answers, or you can have them served to you on a silver platter, which is exactly what I do in the course. If you did find the video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell.